people have not understood of the music could be a science, as people without an interesting knowledge about music were ignoring this perspective that music can be a very broad combination as more important science, and that basic ones we know today. But this is about the change, as there is always, though among the few people who take music as science. Why no music is another science, a language that many people ignore? Join me, and you will see how in reality this is a very fundamental subject that every institution should have. In the centuries BC, music have been very fundamental to the communication in general. The noise on the sound of the call actor for meetings. That to this music serves something in this beginning, but there has not yet some knowledge about. It is when have our first that the beginning, we not know how to drive yet. For example, in the 1200 AD, the German and French Empire began to carry out scientific research into what lay beyond music. Certain scientific investigation in the German and French Empire began to carry out what beyond music thanks to the mathematicals that had when just have discovered in the science in the Mesopotamia the music have yet its that the scientificism did not leave aside. For example, the tempo is the pulsation that marks stimulus and the order that is related to the number of figuration that the last with pentagram, for example, quarter note of 1 plus 2 tempo and half notes in the two tempos, but the tempos would guide together with the sound a great clarity and music as science. In the years 1600, the German composer Johann Sebastian Bach, better known as the father of music, was a very well-known multi-instrumental and very known debater about the science of music. Thanks to him, new always to interpreting Baroque music were discovered as principle in the science of the music. Thanks to him, we discovered and know how music is closely related to mathematics or algebra, physics and chemistry, taking so on, for example. According to Isaac Newton, very objects will always attracted in the gravitational force in the direct centers of the Earth. But what does the leaf to the rhythm of the music? It has everything to do with the sound is produced by slingshot caused by the variation produced in the molecules H2O. When mixed with the friction and the slingshot made of. And I write to parents thanks to my discovery whether a slingshot is infinitive or finitive. The fact happened because I am a semi-professional musical and have a very broad perception for the music and science, but only watching certain of the book, documentary, and video site analysis of the modern not explain a slingshot is infinitive or finitive. That is was an end or no end. So thanks to this though, I started to investigate much more in usual talking to 30 weeks without deciphering anything until unrealized that as is had not been discovered. Yet I started to meet subjects where quantum and traditional science. Thanks to this tremendous investigation, I arrived to the conclusion what the bars in the are infinitive thanks to that slingshot would be sin of theta that would give in the graphical explanation of the slingshot and the talking the theory of the decomposition of the wave. I realized that a slingshot not only in the composer of the first or the 25 songs as the book teaches, just not if, it's not that. As Linhot is composer thanks to the fact that it's getting smaller and the smaller is cry on more and more unknown so matter and the absent biology. I show how the friction and oxygen give use sound. This also happens is in atom molecules thanks to the friction and continuous movement of the protons, neutrons, electrons and neutrons. But as very obvious matters has an end. Then when the antos is extinct, when I completed is this energy cycle, choose molecules I slowly start to disintegrate, creating tiny implosion that mark another link thanks to the light to the oxygen that is there and will also disintegrate a little until an end of the void where more unknown micro sounds will last until to the end. So thanks to this analysis I ended up discovering that sound was finite and that music should never be considered a subject in institution. In my conclusion, to make it clear, these events does not happen by event. I happen thanks to gravity, which is the force of attraction in Newton's law, which can be used not only on physical visible objects, but also on invisible and auditory matters. Music itself is impossible to decipher, but the truth is that music is something fundamental to the science as the human and mind around use. The combination of the science, language, psychology clearly show the music and can understand everything and how we should stop ignoring is an important subject in the institution that can serve use even for new goals and new subject to the discovered in the modern era events if we don't like it. Thank you very much.